Hello, Happy on Purpose. Today I'm joined by Hailey from Speed Dating Kelowna, someone who's quietly doing something pretty powerful in our community. At a time when so many of us feel disconnected, screen tired, or unsure where real connection even happens anymore, Hailey is creating spaces where people show up in person, have real conversations, and remember what it feels like to belong. Speed Dating Kelowna isn't just about romance, it's about human connection, courage, and bringing people back together in a very real, very human way. This is a conversation about community, presence, and why getting out of the house still matters. Thanks so much, Hailey, for being on Happy on Purpose and Valley FM. So great to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I feel like we could wrap up right there. You did such a good job. Like you summed it up better than I could have.
I think it's just so important, and that's the premise of this whole show is just community connection again. I think we've forgotten that there's a whole bunch of really amazing people doing really great things in the Okanagan Valley, and we need each other now more than ever.
We do. I feel like we've just forgotten there are people here in general.
In general,
Like, yeah, it's a weird time.
that's
It's a weird time, like post-COVID. And I mean, we're still kind of picking up the pieces following COVID, like of
I
lockdown,
totally
like
agree.
the separation, the isolation, and like the screens keeping everybody apart. It's a very bizarre time, but it feels like people are finally ready to start building community again, which is just so nice. So nice to see. And you
Yeah,
guys
it's
obviously have seen that firsthand, which is incredible.
yeah, it's usually we don't know we're missing it until it goes away.
Yep.
And
And it's
then all of
exactly
it, and then it's been really hard, like you just said, to get back into it. It's like a
yep.
muscle we didn't use for a while that we're going to have to, and in the younger generation is really going to need to figure out how to get back in real life
Well,
too.
that's it. It is figuring it out because they didn't even have real life before. Like I was 23 when lockdown happened. I'm 31 now. Now it's finally kind of, back to a normal place. But I'm like, I think of who I was then versus now. Like I'm a totally different person. And like those core years of my 20s where I should be, and I mean, I did a lot of traveling. I was very, very lucky to have been in Australia during lockdown and whatever. But like I think of all the people who weren't so lucky to have those opportunities. And it's like you miss such a core part of your young adulthood, and it's like now you're a grown-up trying to navigate friendships and relationships and whatever it is, and it's like, well, how am I supposed to do that when the half of us are still on dating apps or doing whatever it is? It's a yeah, but I feel like every demographic, every generation has their own version of that, like
Agreed.
it just really threw us for a loop.
It totally did. So I like that. So that's a great way to start because I was going to talk about the whole COVID and how this started. So what inspired you then to create Speed Dating Kelowna? Because it was right after COVID, was it not?
Well, my friend actually started speed dating Newfoundland in January of last year. I'm from Newfoundland. It's my childhood best friend. We've been friends for like 30 years. I saw what she was doing, and I'm like, I saw how she was bringing people together. And I was like, that looks really fun. Like, I want to do that. So I'm like, we had a quick FaceTime. She gave me the rundown and then kind of built Speed Dating Kelowna from the ground up. Like, it's mine. I own it. It's totally, fully 100% local. But in the beginning, I was not sure if there was a demand, and I wasn't sure if it would hit because, like, Newfoundland, anyone who's been, it is a very unique place. And I just wasn't sure how it was going to come across out here, if it will be like ill received. I had genuinely no idea. So our first event was a 25 to 35. We had like 20 or 30 Instagram followers and it sold out in like a couple days. So I was like, this is crazy. And it told me two things. It told me one, that people really, really are craving and are ready to step away from the dating apps and from screens and from social media in general. And the second was that we can actually provide a genuine opportunity for people who want that. And there are other, there are other speed dating options, and there are other dating app options, and there are all kinds of different ways you can meet people. But it's been really incredible to see not just men and women connecting, but women exchanging numbers and the men sharing a drink or having a laugh. And I see them exchanging Instagrams, and I see people like networking for business. And it's just, we're creating such an incredible community, and people are just growing. Like people who come to multiple events, I see them now versus when I first met them, and they just open up and like they're like, I still have it, and I didn't know that I did. And I'm so much more confident now than I was 2 hours ago or four speed datings ago or whenever.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's been really cool.
Yeah, it sounds really great. Again, we talked a little bit before we hit record, but it is such an interesting time in history. The post-COVID um, desires to be out battling with the fears and uncertainty because those
Yeah.
muscles and those skills were not used. Now I feel like there's like this weird awkwardness that's happening. So when I hear people are gathering, I'm always so excited about that because we are wired for connection. Thank you, Brene Brown, for, making that very aware. And that's what this sounds
Thank you,
like
Brene
to
Brown, for
me.
everything.
What was that?
Yeah. Yeah. I said thank you, Brene Brown, for everything.
For everything. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love her.
Yeah, she's
But
great.
before COVID, you noticed human connection was already heading in a tough direction. You had said you were pretty young, but
Yeah.
so I'm curious about that. Like, what were you even seeking back then, post COVID?
Like I said, post COVID, I was in my early 20s and it was very like Instagram, and it still very much is, but it just was like the up and coming of Instagram almost. And it was like everything was about looks and everything was about appearance. And everything at that time was
Filters.
really everything was so heavily filtered, and everything was this is me at my best, and this is me like looking my best and living my best and having my best and achieving my best. Whereas now people like even like the biggest influencers are like, this is not real. Like this is not this is everybody's highlight reel, and this is us at our peak, which was a very bizarre time. So it just was actually this year in the spring that I was like, I'm just going to stop using social media. I'm just going to be done with it and like see what happens. So I started setting a timer, like a screen limit on my phone. For it was 20 minutes for Instagram, Facebook, and something else. And you would not believe how quickly that notification comes up. And you're like, what have I been doing for 20 minutes? So, and in the beginning, I was like, what am I going to do instead of this? So I'm a big reader. And so I started reading on my phone instead,
Yeah.
because like they're always on us, like that's some like our phones are always around us, and I'm like, it is something that's on me and it's a part of my life, and I'm like, I just need to find a way to use it more purposefully and just more mindfully as well. And then that's when I kind of was like, I could actually be using this to network and to do something really positive and helpful. And so that's when I kind of started speed dating Kelowna after chatting with my friend, because and it's so funny because I tell the story now, I'm like, I gave up social media, but I'm like, I spent all my time on it now, but it's a
Yeah.
different kind of purpose now. Like I'm just bringing people together, and I'm doing other things. Like it's just completely flipped the script, flipped the script or whatever that saying is. It's
Yeah.
just totally flipped it. And it's been, yeah, really nice to use it in a more meaningful, yeah, mindful way.
Yeah, I think it's going back to what it was initially, in my opinion, originally meant to be.
Yeah.
It's just a tool, something we use to stay in touch with family or friends. It was never meant to be this brain sucking, social snacking, small segments of non-reality
Yeah. And that's
that
exactly
we
what it is.
then put ourselves up against. And
Yeah.
it's so unrealistic. I always like it when people come together and they go, "Oh, you're a hot mess too." It's like, yeah, we
Yeah.
all
Let's talk
are.
about it. Literally. Yeah.
We all are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of this together.
Some of us are just a little more public about it.
Yes. And that's exactly it. That's so true.
Like, I'm okay letting everyone know I do not have my life together.
Yeah.
I like the appearance of it, but the people that know me well know, no,
Yeah.
I have my days. I have my
Yeah.
days.
But like everyone does, and that's also life, but that's also been filtered out. Like a
Yeah.
bad day or like a whatever, it's just it's we very much, yeah, like you said, are going back now to a more normal relationship with social media, I think. And like you see it in schools, they've just banned phones these last couple of years, and that is massive. And I think it teaches them so much for a generation who came out on phones and iPads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that shift looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a pushback on phones in school, which I have a lot of teachers in my extended family, and they're retiring out now. And so they sort of saw it way before, during, and after. And it, again, as a tool in the classroom, having it accessible, the internet, all of that accessible. Yes, the argument is, well, my parents won't be able to get a hold of me or
Mm.
whatever. Last time I checked, you can call the school.
Anytime.
There's phones in there.
Anytime. Yeah. I
Yeah,
actually I'm a teacher as well. And it's funny, like their reasons for pushing back, but it's also like that's all they know.
yeah,
Like they're like, what do you mean? Like, what do we do at lunchtime? I'm like, you talk to each other. And they're like, what do we talk about? I'm like, but they genuinely don't know. But
yeah,
I saw a really big shift. Like in the mornings, it was so nice to see kids in the hallway, like reading, like with an actual novel in their hands. I'm like, and kids were getting to like doing their homework in the mornings, which I don't know if they were doing their homework ever, to be
yeah.
honest. Since phones had come about. So yeah, sure, they're procrastinating, they're doing it right before the bell, but they're doing it. They've got a pen on the paper and they're actually using their brain in a way that's that your brain is supposed to be used.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we could talk about that. That would be a whole 30
I know
minute
it's so
segment.
true. It's so true.
So I'm going to just jump along. So many people feel lonely, yet hesitant to use dating apps or social media for all the reasons that we just talked about. But why do you think that tension exists right now, other than what we've already talked about? Do you think this is so successful? Maybe I'll pivot it that way, that speed dating Kelowna is so successful because people are recognizing
Oh
and they're
yeah,
starting to stick their neck out. Yeah.
absolutely. People come to my events and they're like, this is so different for me. I've never done anything like this. I was so scared. I was so terrified. And everyone always leaves so happy. But everyone comes in like, I'm tired of the apps. I'm tired of like, putting on my best face or not getting any matches because my bio isn't very good. But you're a really good person. You have a heart of gold and you're ambitious and you're goal driven and you have great morals and values. But it's like because you don't have a picture of you holding a massive fish, like no one's even giving you a second
Yeah.
look. So it just is really nice that everybody gets a chance to speak to everybody. So if you come to my event and you see someone across the room, and you're like, oh my goodness, that person is just giving off really good energy. They look like someone I want to get a chance to talk to. You will talk to them. Like
Yes.
everyone gets a chance to speak to everyone. And I mentioned it before we hit record as well. It's like I see women getting together and like making plans to hang out, and I see men exchanging Instagrams and getting together. And there's so much more happening. And like you kind of touched on it as well. Like, it can be really lonely. But if you also are someone who all of your friends are in relationships, then you don't have any friends either. So it's nice to get out and be like, oh, people my age are actually single. It's not just me. And
Yes.
it's been incredible. And then some more feedback that I've also been getting is before people come to my event, sometimes I get an email or a DM or whatever it is, and they'll say, yeah, I'm tired of the apps and I'm just curious. The people at your events are the people that are on the apps. And I'm like, well, first of all, the people who come to my events are also tired of Tinder and Hinge and whatever they're using. And then I've had people also recently look around the room and say to me, like, I don't even recognize anybody in here. So it's a very interesting type of person that it seems to be pulling in, but it seems to be really working. Like I
Yeah.
overhear conversations and you just pick up on the energy and the vibe in place. And like 9 out of 10 times, it is a incredible, incredible group of people, just really lovely people who are ready to make that next step. And I always say, you paid for the ticket, you got dressed up, you actually came out. Like already you are doing so much more than someone who's just sitting and swiping or someone who's not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I've chatted recently with a friend of mine as well. And it's like, if you're not working on yourself, then how can you improve those relationships? If you're not doing the things to put yourself in the right rooms and the right spaces, well, how can like you get out of it what you put into it, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Totally. You
Yeah.
may hear my dog barking. He's decided to have a little fit, but we'll just carry on. I think that's what made me think about that when you were talking is do you do like uh, um, a hetero night and then do you do LGBTQ nights or is everybody just allowed to come? Like, how are you handling
So
all
up
the
and
people?
yeah, so that's the other thing is all the people is so true. I'm getting people from like all walks of life, all demographics,
Yes.
all regions, all sexual orientations. Like it's actually been crazy. But up until now we've only done hetero. So we sell 15 men, 15 women. But I had a lot of interest put forward to do a queer event, and I am all for that. And if anybody is listening who would like to give me a hand, that would be incredibly helpful. Like as a heterosexual woman, I just don't even know where to start. And I want to make sure it's done respectfully, tastefully, inclusively. And I want to create some people that genuinely want to attend. So like
That's
I'm here
amazing.
for it. I'm supportive of it. I am all yeah, all for it. I just need someone who would like to be involved. It would
Yeah.
be very helpful. But I have been in talks with a venue who is interested in hosting us. So things are in the works. Things are happening.
Good.
Keep an ear out, keep an eye out for a queer event. We've done single parents nights. We've had interest to do another one. I've had people reach out to do like a Christian night. I had people like a healthcare night. I've had so much interest. It's been crazy, but it's been really cool to see what people genuinely want to see.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I
up
love
until
that.
hetero, but we're working on queer events.
I
Which is
think that there's just a need to find love off of the apps. I
yeah,
think that sums it up, just whatever that's going to look like.
yeah,
And I didn't even think about single parents.
yeah,
Like that's a huge niche too, because
yeah.
people say it's so hard because you're really only meeting the parents of the kids, and we do these play dates and whatnot. but that's not an appropriate place necessarily to
No, and
be.
like your kids running this way and their kids running that way, and it's like you still get a chance to chat, and then someone's having a tantrum, and so you need to leave, and you might never get a chance to cross paths again. So
Yeah.
yeah, those events are good because we open them to not just single parents, but those who are also not afraid to date a single parent, which is huge. Because I've also had people at some events say, "Oh, when I mentioned I was a single mom or dad, people kind of lost interest," and I'm like, "That's not fair, and that's not cool, and you need a space to thrive because single parents are superheroes. Like
Yeah.
honestly, how do they do it? I don't know. It's incredible. So I'm like, you need a night for you and people who support you and value you and understand what you do because
Yeah. To partner up with, because it can be a two-person, three-person, six-person, village person
oh
job,
yeah, yeah, it
right?
can. It does. It's so cliche to say, but it does take a village. So
Yeah, I
I'm trying
agree.
to.
So for someone who's never been to one of your speed dating events, what actually happens when they walk through the door? I think it's just good to reduce some of the anxiety or nerves.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
such a good question. So when people come to me, I greet them at the door. I say hello. I give them a form with their name on it. Everyone has a starting table number. From there, you can go to your table. You can mingle with others. You can head to the bar. You can go to the bathroom. You can do whatever you want. It's a total free space to do whatever you want to do. And no matter where you end up, you will not be out of place. Like people do all kinds of like, yeah, if you want to go to the table, go to the bar, whatever it is. Like everyone does their own natural, whatever it is, and everyone fits in. And then you'll hear from me. I tap a wine glass to get everybody's attention. I've tried a few different things. My voice is not very loud. I've come to learn when I'm trying to speak over 30 grown adults.
Right.
So the wine glass seems to be effective, but you'll hear me tap on the wine glass. I'll give my spiel, which is just like a welcome, general information, whatever. And then usually I have my women sit and I have the men move because women usually have bags and coats and stuff. And the men seem to be happy to move, and it's been working so far. So the women, when they get to their table, that's the spot for the evening. The gentlemen move. So when you get to your first table number, you start there. You do a 5 minute date, 5-ish by the time you settle. On the table as well, there are some question cards, which are really nice. I've
Yeah.
had people say, thank God you had those. Like I would have had nothing to say. And then
Yes.
I have people who say, oh, I didn't know they were there. So it just, you don't know you don't know until you sit down with someone
Yeah.
what kind of conversations are going to come from it. So they're there if you ever need that like safety net or that safety net, I guess. If you're someone who's quite introverted, maybe, and you're like, oh, how am I going to speak to 15 people I've never met? Well, I can help. It's fine. We got you. Everything's there.
Yeah.
So you do a 5 minute date. You also are given on the form that I give out, you just write down the name of the person you're on a date with. In the next column, you write yes or no if you're interested, which I actually had someone recently suggest that I write interested and not for me. And I will be changing that on the next form. It's just so much nicer.
Yeah.
So that'll be changed for the next event, which is so nice. So that'll be a one column like interested or not for me, and then there's a column for notes. Like I'm a note taker at heart. I love a note, and like 15 dates goes very, very, very quickly. So write down like I don't know what someone does for work or something just memorable that stands out about that person, and then you do that 15 times. I tap on the wine glass, let you know when it's time to move. So it's very, very structured. Everything is kind of done for you. You literally just need to show up and bring yourself and some good energy, and that's kind of it. We usually
Love it.
break halfway, or we take two breaks depending on how many people we have. And then at the end, I collect all the forms. So you discreetly write if you're interested in someone or not. They never know. They never get like there's no on the spot rejection. There's no asking for someone's number. There's none of that. Like it's completely I handle it. Like I do all the awkwardness. I do all the rejection. It's fine. So I collect forms, and if someone like if two people are interested in each other, I just email them both their contact information, and then they can take it from there.
Amazing.
Yeah. So if you're someone who's really chatty and really bubbly, but someone might have picked up on that as romantic energy and you just were trying to be their friend, well, then that's fine. That just means you're not going to get a romantic connection. And then you're just not going to exchange information, which is fine. And then you move on to the next one. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of it. It's pretty straightforward, but yeah, for someone who hasn't been to one, it's just great to know because it can be really intimidating. Well, it is very intimidating and very vulnerable if it's
Yeah.
something
It is
new,
very vulnerable.
like putting yourself into a space, especially if you come by yourself doing something brand new. And something about like dating is it's just so like anxiety inducing, and it's such a vulnerable space to be anyways. So to do something so different, yeah, I appreciate you asking that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it is that, and it comes from that place of knowing people can feel vulnerable going into a new experience.
Hmm.
Dating, like you just said, is by nature a little anxiety inducing because you know you're being judged.
Totally.
It's like, and chosen. Like you really have to wrap your head around that. No, you know what? This is just going to be a process and it's going to be amazing. And if I'm not for them, it saves me some time, but I'll
Yep.
meet some really cool people. And if not tonight, then another night.
Exactly.
But there is that, those the butterfly tummy that comes when you're, it's like an interview almost in
It
some ways.
is. It really is. It's such a good point. It's so funny. But some feedback I got the other night was someone said, which is so obvious, but I just didn't even think to even put this in like my marketing that I use. He said, it's so nice to be in a space and just know everybody's single.
Yeah.
So true, because if you're out and you feel like you're having a good day, or I look really good today, or I'm getting a really good vibe from this person, but you're like, oh, well, what if they're in a relationship? And then it's like
Yeah.
immediately you're just like afraid of the rejection and you don't want your ego to get hurt, which is understandable. We're human. And that's okay. Like people don't like to be rejected, and that's just natural. But yeah, he's like, to be in a room where I know everybody's single, he's like, it's so refreshing. And you can just be so much more like there's just almost less pressure in a weird way, which you think would be the opposite.
No, I
But
totally get that. I do totally get that
yeah.
because you don't have to ask those beginning weird sort of baiting questions to find
Yeah.
out if they are single or not single.
Yeah.
That is a really that's a brilliant
I
actually to
know.
even be
I was
thinking
like,
about that.
I was like, I should be paying you for that. I was like, that's a great little bit of that's great insight. So
Yeah,
obvious, but I'm like,
very good insight. Yeah, because I mean, I'm obviously quite a bit older than you. I am Gen X, and we just look for rings, but I'm that doesn't even apply anymore.
no, it
People
doesn't.
wear
It
rings
really
forever,
doesn't.
and people don't get married, and so
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's totally different vibes out there. I am really grateful. I am in a loving relationship, and I don't have to do it. Not gonna lie, but if I did, I'd be all over speed
I
dating.
know. I'm lucky I met my partner in the wild as well, but I'm like, oh my God, if I hadn't, how fun would that be to go to speed? Get some girlfriends to come with you.
100%.
Fun. And
Have a
make it.
glass of wine or something before, and then
Oh,
just kick it. Yeah,
yeah.
I
I have
love.
girls who come from out of town. They get a hotel room. I love to hear the debrief as well after speed dating the girls that are talking. I'm like, okay, so what do we think?
Yeah,
It's so
yeah. Got to get in on
like
that.
women who didn't know each
Get
other
them
when
into
they
a speed.
came. It's yeah, it's just it's a great little community.
It sounds fun, and I think because you are just such a great energy that works for speed dating. Like you're such a bright, bubbly, welcoming personality that in itself attracts people. It takes people's barriers down to go, no, Hailey will have me. She'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'll feel safe.
yeah, yeah. I'm there. And I prioritize safety and comfortability, and yeah, I'm all
Yeah.
for the event and the experience and the people who
That
come.
because that could have the potential to going sideways sometimes if you don't have a skilled facilitator, right? And people don't get a little bit of a debrief beforehand. You don't know who's walking through the door. You
No idea. Yeah,
literally don't.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you need someone who is like on your level, but also is not afraid to like be that person who needs to kind of take control. I had a situation
Yeah,
the other night
firm.
actually where I had some young guys who they had to go, and I was like, it's just not, it's not what you thought it was going to be, and I can't. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
and at the end of the, it was awkward. At the end of the night, I had to make a little spiel to everybody, and I was like, I'm here to protect you guys and the experience and people who genuinely want to be here and who paid to be here and who are seeking a real connection. And all around, I saw the same thing you're doing now. I saw nods and like,
yep,
yeah. And I'm like, okay, I did the right thing. But like, you never know. Like when you
yeah,
have to deal with something, like, did I do the right thing? Did I do the wrong thing? But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm like, I already said, I'm here for the event and the people who genuinely want to be there, who are genuinely seeking a connection. And I think, yeah, by doing that, it just attracts a certain type of person. And so far
yes.
it's been like the people who come to our events are super, super sweet.
Yeah, and it's in a public space, right?
Yes.
It's a
Yes, that's
public
true.
facilitated space.
Yep.
So it's not like you're meeting somebody, for a first time for a lunch because you don't know where the evening will go. It breaks down so many barriers for
Yeah.
people. And as soon as we connected, I was like, yes, this needs to be on Happy on Purpose. Like, I think you need to be coming into the Vernon area, to be
I
honest.
would
But
love to come to Vernon. Honestly, if anybody's interested, I would be out there in a heartbeat.
yeah,
Like 100%.
just to even like once a month or something.
Yes, I
Because
would. I totally would.
there's always people I see them on like the moms groups or even the rant and rave, like new to the community. How are people finding friends?
Yeah, well, that's it.
Even that.
Yes, I had someone come to our event the other night. We had been chatting on Instagram back and forth before he bought it, wondering how it works. And of course, anyways, he came to the event and I was like, oh, so you just moved here? Like, when did you get here? He was like, 2 hours ago. I was like, what? He's like, I just dropped my bags and I came down here. I love that. And he's like, I had so much fun. He's like, I found, we were at BTS, which is a cocktail bar. He was like, I might have just found my new go-to place for cocktails. And that's the other things. We're always bouncing around. So we're always like exploring new venues. And people are like, oh my God, I didn't know the Rico Room existed. I didn't know Skinny Dupes existed. And they're like, oh, this place has really good food. The service is incredible. And the vibe is just great. So yeah, like worst case scenario, you came out, you got out on a night when it was dark and it was cold and you would have stayed home doing nothing. You had some great conversations and you might have found like your new go-to spot. And I'm
Totally.
there. Like it.
Yeah. And Hailey's there. So what more could you ask for?
I'm just kidding. No, but it's just so fun. And I wish everyone knew how non-intimidating it is. But I think by
Yeah,
doing things like this and, word of mouth, I think, yeah, over time, people will be like, oh, I can do that. Because again, like,
abs-
hey, you can do anything.
absolutely. Enough people go that have a great experience. They'll be dragging people out for sure. Yeah, there's not a doubt in my mind. I think right now, especially with AI and everything else that's going on, we are craving that authentic, messy, awkward, real human connections.
Yeah.
And I think anything that is started with wanting to offset that is going to be hugely successful. My kids are
Yeah.
21, well, tomorrow, 21, 23, and 25.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, the apps just aren't their jam, you
No.
know? And
Nope.
they grew up here. So they literally know everyone. So
Yeah.
they've got the problem of, well, that person dated so and so, and I'm
Well,
kind of
yeah.
friends with so and so said such and such about so and so. Like
Yeah.
we need new ways to mix it up.
It's so true. It's so true. And I get people like my events from who are some are local, some have just moved here, and Kelowna is growing, as you know. Vernon's
Yeah.
like, the whole Okanagan is just it's getting crazy. So we always get people who I just moved here 2 hours ago. I got here a week ago. I got
Yeah.
here 3 months ago. I'm here visiting so and so. I might stay. I might come back. And it's just people from all over, which is really
Yeah.
cool. But I had the same issue in Newfoundland. My friend has it where like everyone knows everyone. And it's like
Yeah.
you like how do we meet new people when so and so, 20 years ago did this to that person? And it's like, but that was 20 years ago. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's yeah, it's when you're in your hometown still and it's a smaller place, you definitely do get that.
Yeah. And really, honestly, it's funny because I was born and raised in Calgary, and it's an hour commute now feels like, why would I? That was the basic time
That's
to
great.
get anywhere in Calgary. Like for to and from to work, I rode city transit for an hour. So getting from Vernon to Kelowna to one of these events is actually really not a big deal,
No, and it's a
especially if you go
gorgeous
with a
draw.
friend. Just
Yes,
make a
like I
fun
said,
night of it.
I always get people coming in together all the time. I had someone coming from Salmon Island. I was like, what?
Love it.
What? I do. I was like, this is incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have events coming up. We've tried Kamloops. It did not hit at the time, but we were super, super new.
Yeah.
We sold like 11 out of 30 tickets or something, which is like now looking back, I'm like, for just starting out, that actually is decent. So come this spring, I definitely want to try that again. We have an event in Penticton coming up. Yeah, and again, I'm open to like we're called Speed Dating Kelowna, but really it was meant and planned to be the entire Okanagan. So if anyone's listening and wants me to come to them, like just let me know.
Let's just do it.
Do
Well,
it.
that's an invitation for
Exactly.
anybody that's listening that has a desire. And how much are your tickets?
Our tickets are $25,
Okay.
which is, as far as I know, the cheapest speed dating option in the Okanagan. Which
Well,
is,
it's cheaper than dinner and drinks.
and you're out for 2 hours
With
and you
somebody
can
you
meet.
don't even know if you want to spend time with.
I know. So our tickets used to cost more, and they included a drink. But my friend who started this, like she did all the groundwork first, and I very luckily was just able to get her expertise and bring it here.
Yes.
But when she first started doing it, she's like, we used to charge more, but people don't want to drink, which is fine. Why would you feel like you have to? Or they're driving or they just don't want to. So I'm super, super proud to offer a space that's also you drink what you want or don't,
Yep.
which is cool. Cause yeah, it's a weeknight. Most of our events are on weeknights. That's the other thing. So people often are driving or they have work in the morning or they have, kids to get home to or whatever it is. So yeah, I'm super proud to offer the most affordable option because we don't include that. So it's just like a no pressure, you do
Yeah.
you kind of thing.
I actually respect that a lot because I don't I don't know that meeting somebody when you're already half in the bag, so to
Mm,
speak, really works out, right?
no, it's
Like if
true.
you're really taking it seriously and you want to meet somebody and you want to show up on your best, I do understand the nerves. So yes, I am
100%. Liquid
not
courage
poo-pooing
is,
a drink or two. I am not that person not going to take away the fun factor if that's what you need. But there is something really important about showing up well.
showing up, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like come be you. Yeah, have a drink. Like, it's a social drink. It's a normal setting. People drink, people have it's fine. Like you said, I'm not gonna take the fun out of it entirely. But if you're not a drinker, then that's a space for you too.
Totally.
So
And you may find somebody else that is in the same boat, right? Like,
which also is another interesting thing I could talk about forever is like alcohol like drinking culture is very much on its way out, which is amazing. So I'm 31, my sister's 24, and she just doesn't they just don't do it. And I'm like, oh my God, me at 21. I'm like,
yeah.
it was a different time.
Growing up in the 80s to now,
Well, that's yeah.
heck yeah. I'm so grateful. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so grateful that that's changed.
Yeah, 100%. Totally.
Yeah.
Just I feel like everything's going in a great direction in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I'm again not gonna trash anybody or say anything negative if
Absolutely
people
not.
like a little drink, but I do think if you're gonna be serious about meeting somebody, you want to come in your right mind. If you
Yeah,
have to have a drink to because that's what you do socially,
do it.
amazing.
Go for
No
it. Yeah,
problem.
you do
But
it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So what do you think showing up in person teaches us about ourselves that apps just can't? I mean, I think maybe we even summed it all up, but I love that because I do feel there's a lot of personal development in getting yourself up, what we talked about, we're getting ready, going out, fighting those demons of anxiety, rejection, all the rest.
Yeah.
Like, what else do people say that this experience has taught them, or what do you notice?
I touched on it earlier. I don't know if it was before or after we started recording, but the people who have come to multiple events, like watching their confidence grow. And I
Yes.
actually had someone email me recently. He's attended a couple events and he said, not just me, he was like, but the women that I've seen at a couple events now, which is also not very often. We don't get a whole lot of crossover, which is incredible. But he was like, the couple women that I've seen a couple times now, he was like, even talking to them now versus then, he was like, it's been incredible. And these are people who, might have not been on a date in years, or who might have not ever been on a date, or maybe they just got to have a really long relationship, or maybe they date all the time. Like it brings everyone together and it puts everybody on a level playing field,
Yeah.
which
And
is
it's
really
a
nice.
skill. It's a
It is.
skill to
It
be able
is.
to identify your strengths.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what your questions are, but I would imagine them being very not deeply personal, but things about yourself that you may actually have to think about, like what do you do for
Yeah.
fun, or where did you go to school, or what is your ambitions? I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
It makes people really think. I do have a lot of strengths. I have a lot to offer here.
Absolutely. Yeah, which is everyone does. And sometimes you
Yeah,
just need a little kick in the butt to be like, oh, like I said before, oh, I still got it. Or oh,
yeah,
I can actually talk to a lot of people. I actually have things to say. And people
yes,
like, I had a guy last night at my event, he's like, I'm so introverted. And he's like, I don't speak to people. And I'm like, I've been talking to you for 10 minutes and you've not skipped a beat.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
also everyone in the room just always brings it's such incredible energy and it can't help but bring out the best in people.
yeah.
And
I think that's just such a beautiful side benefit
yeah,
to speed dating Kelowna. In your opinion, how do events like this contribute to a stronger, more connected community?
kind of already touched on. I feel like our
Yeah,
conversation, we've covered so many bases, haven't we? We've been so good. Like seeing men and women come together, people businessing or sorry, networking for business and people finding their new go-to spot, or I hear people talking about, I don't know, the best restaurant in town or whatever it is. It just is
yeah.
open. It's just breaking down so many barriers. Like we're actually speaking to people again.
Yes. I do like that you switch it up to different venues too. Like I think that's even good for the community. The fact that people are getting out and seeing what's
Yeah.
new, going to places they might not have necessarily gone, finding just the comfort again in getting out and engaging with community in a world of Amazon,
Oh yeah.
Temu, whatever, like all the online shopping. We're not meeting in malls anymore. We're not just being in person and learning how to navigate conflict or whatever.
Yep.
We so getting out and just doing something positive, just getting in your flipping car and going out on a weeknight,
Just getting out,
just
you
getting
know?
out. I
And then
love
yeah, like we 9 out of 10 times will also choose a local restaurant, pub, or bar. So it's also supporting our community. Like why wouldn't you?
it. Yeah, why wouldn't you? For $25, literally, why wouldn't you? What has running speed dating Kelowna taught you about people? The good, the bad, and the crazy. Mostly the good. Well, they're mostly good.
There honestly hasn't been very much crazy, which is so funny. I've not actually been asked that, but it's just really cool to hear people's stories.
Yeah.
Like, I've lived here for 6 years now, and this is the first time I've genuinely felt part of the community. And I think it is because we've been bouncing around different venues and I'm building
Yeah.
those relationships with like the venue owners and the managers and the supervisors and the servers who are serving us. And, sometimes oftentimes actually we'll have the same server a couple of times. So then they get to also build a community with some familiar faces. And if people come to my house,
Yes.
they'll say, oh, I recognize you from last time or whatever it is. But yeah, I've learned even like you said, talking to people is a muscle or it's something that you need to practice. And no, I'm 31. Everyone went through the COVID thing. So even for me, I'm like, oh, I can also talk to people. And not like it was ever a concern, but it's just like the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. It's just so,
Absolutely.
I don't know. It's just so funny. I've learned so much about everybody, myself and Kelowna, and it's just been very, very eye-opening.
Yeah.
Mostly, I
What
would
do,
say people's stories has been just amazing.
yeah. What would you say to the people that say there just aren't any good ones left out there? And
I
that
would
will
say,
be the final question.
I'd say, come check us out and I'll prove you wrong.
Right. Challenge accepted.
Yeah, right. Challenge accepted. Exactly. Exactly that. Yeah. Like, what have you got to lose?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you
And
said,
there are so
so
many
many,
great
so
people.
many. People are always moving. People are always breaking up. People are always, working on themselves and now they're ready to get back out there. And people are having career shifts and they used to work
Yes.
24 hours and now they finally have the energy to be out. Like, there are always people popping up. And
Yeah.
even, if you're from a really small town, really, really small, like I said, people are still working on themselves. Someone you might have known 10 years ago versus now, maybe they did some soul searching and maybe they had an incredible or a not so incredible life experience and now they're just different. And people,
Absolutely.
it's a really beautiful thing. So
There's a major difference between high school and real world. The
massive, massive.
20s are like a crunchy, strange period of time. I keep telling my kids, you are in the no person zone right now. You
Yeah.
don't know where you're going, what you're doing. You got a plan, you're trying. Like,
Yeah.
you just got to keep on getting through those
Check it out. Yeah.
20s.
Yeah.
20s are nuts. So,
Yeah,
where
they're tough.
can people find you? What is the best place to find you?
So you can register for your event on Eventbrite. We post like all of our full calendar of events will be there. We also post everything to Instagram and Facebook. So I've had a lot of people who have been following us on social media since the beginning. I'm a longtime lurker and I've been watching what you've been doing and now finally feel ready. So if you're not quite ready to commit, but you're curious, that's a great place to start.
Yeah.
Just have a look on Instagram. I post like pictures and reels of, the events and I post our match stats. So like, for example, last night we had an event of 27, 21 people got at least one match, which is
Nice.
decent. So yeah, so I post those all the time. It's a nice place. Like I said, if you're curious, just to get a feel for us before you even come. And I post everything. It's me. It's like me. I'm here now. Like I'm in the reels. And I think putting a face to the not brand. Well, I guess it is a brand, but like knowing that it's a real person behind the screen as well probably really makes a difference instead of just Speed Dating Kelowna as a logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say start on Instagram and Facebook and yeah, have a look, see what we're all about. And if you like
Check it
us,
out.
perfect. And if not, that's also okay. We've got
Yeah.
other options in Kelowna. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. 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 Yes to all of it, Hailey. Well, that was probably one of the easiest 35 minutes. So we're gonna wrap it up. But I'm really excited to do a follow up with you. And if anybody is interested in hosting a queer event or a
Yes,
Vernon event,
please.
please reach out to Hailey at Speed Dating Kelowna. Well, Hailey, thank you very much for
Oh,
your time. I appreciate it so much. And thank you for creating spaces that invite people back into real life and into rooms where conversations have to happen. I am sure there's a lot of laughter breaking out and where connection feels possible again. And what you're offering isn't just an event, it's an opportunity to step out of isolation, meet people face to face, and remember that community doesn't start online. It starts when somebody decides to show up. I think that
yeah.
is just brilliant. So, for the listeners, if this conversation resonated with you, maybe it's an invitation for you to get dressed, go out, talk to some strangers, and see what might unfold. Thank you so much, Hailey. I really appreciated this conversation.
Thank you.